Syria's President Bashar al Assad is not ordering any chemical weapons attacks. He's being framed to look like he did. Tonight, the truth, according to Russia, about fake news designed to topple a leader. I'm Brent Goff in Berlin. This is The Day.
According to credible information, militants are bringing in poisonous substances. We have information from various sources that similar provocations are being prepared in other Syrian regions. They aim to create another pretext for accusing the Syrian government of using chemical weapons and provoke new U.S. strikes. This reminds me strongly of events in Iraq in 2003, when U.S. representatives in the UN Security Council showed alleged chemical weapons found in Iraq.
We begin the day with a new red line in Syria, a red line on the truth drawn by both the U.S. and Russia. Today, Washington said that Syria's President Bashar al Assad is responsible for last week's chemical weapons attack that killed nearly 100 people. But perhaps most stinging, the U.S. accuses the Syrian regime and Russia of trying to make sure the world doesn't ever know what really happened. Now, at the same time, Russian President Vladimir Putin told reporters Syria's president is the victim of a U.S. plan to make him look like the villain. Now, Putin floated what sounds like a conspiracy theory. Fake toxic gas attacks are being planned to frame President Assad and to justify U.S. military action. Now, this is only accelerating what appears to be a rapid tailspin in relations between the White House and the Kremlin. And it comes on the evening the U.S. Secretary of State Tillerson arrives in Moscow for talks. Now, here is what Mr. Tillerson said earlier today about the U.S. position on Syria and its ally, Russia.
It's clear to all of us that the reign of the Assad family is coming to an end. It is also clear Russia has failed to uphold the agreements that had been entered into under multiple UN Security Council resolutions. These agreements stipulated Russia as the guarantor of a Syria free of chemical weapons, that they would also locate, secure, and destroy all such armaments in Syria. It is unclear whether Russia failed to take this obligation seriously or Russia has been incompetent. But this distinction doesn't much matter to the dead. To be clear, our military action was a direct response to the Assad regime's barbarism. The United States priority in Syria and Iraq remains the defeat of ISIS.
Well, the reset with Russia that Donald Trump promised in his campaign to become U.S. president appears headed for the same fate as the reset that was once on the Obama agenda. Should Secretary of State Tillerson be preparing for a chilly reception? I want you to take a listen to what the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Russian Parliament told my colleague Tim Sebastian on DW's Conflict Zone.
The West holds you responsible for current violations that the Syrian government is making. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said, actually a few hours before we recorded this interview, that he reserves the right, America reserves the right.
Who is Mr. Tillerson? The God himself?
He's the Secretary of State. No,
yes,
can I
know,
just tell you what he said? I mean, his position.
Yes,
can I tell you his position? That they reserve the right to make accountable anyone guilty of crimes against humanity.
The Secretary of State of the United States of America is not the global judge of the mankind.
You can see Tim's entire interview with the chairman beginning tomorrow right here on DW. Check your local air times or watch the program on demand at dw.com/conflictzone.